Happy Friday, children, and welcome to our first assembly of this half term. Let us make the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. During the half-term break on the Wednesday, we marked the beginning of the Lenten season, and it was Ash Wednesday on that day. I'm going to begin our assembly today by just asking you a couple of questions just to see what you've remembered over the past few years about the beginning of Lent. So teachers, have your fingers ready on the pause button. First question, nice easy one to start with. How long is Lent? How long does Lent last for? I'm sure we had lots of hands up there, and that's right, it's 40 days. What are we preparing for? That's right. During the season of Lent, we're all preparing to celebrate Easter, the time when we think about Jesus' resurrection. Next question. What did Jesus do for the 40 days before entering Jerusalem? That day on Palm Sunday that we're all going to hear about shortly. What did he do on the 40 days leading up to that to prepare himself? That's right. He went to the desert and prepared himself by praying and fasting. Well done, everybody. I'm sure you remembered lots. Like Jesus prepared himself for 40 days during Lent, that's what we're also going to do. We're going to prepare ourselves for Easter in a special way through a Lenten adventure. I'm going to play a short film now in which you'll see some school children, and I hope they're going to inspire you to start your own Lenten adventure. During the film, I want you particularly to look at for some actions that the children perform when they say pray, stop and go. And that's going to be something we're going to be thinking about over the next few weeks.
I'm going on a Lenten adventure.
Wait for me!
And us!
I'm going on a Lenten adventure.
And me! And me! And me! And me!
We're going on a Lenten adventure.
Hang on, what is a Lenten adventure?
On our Lenten adventure, we're going to pray more.
On our Lent adventure, we're going to stop doing things that are taking up our time.
So that we can go out to others with love.
To come.
So we too are going to go on a Lenten adventure, but not like the superheroes in the Avengers. We'll be doing a very different type of adventure, and one that Jesus will guide us on. I want to read you now from the Gospel according to St. Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "Be careful not to parade your good deeds before men to attract their notice. By doing this, you will lose all reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give alms, do not have it trumpeted before you. This is what the hypocrites do in the synagogue and in the streets, to win men's admiration. I tell you solemnly, they have had their reward. But when you give your alms, your left hand must not know what your right is doing. Your almsgiving must be secret, and your Father, who sees all that is done in secret, will reward you. And when you pray, do not imitate the hypocrites. They love to say their prayers standing up in the synagogues and at the end of street corners for people to see them. I tell you solemnly, they have had their reward. But when you pray, go to your private room, and when you shut your door, pray to your Father, who is in that secret place. And your Father, who sees all that is done in secret, will reward you. When you fast, do not put on a gloomy look, as the hypocrites do. They pull long faces to let men know they're fasting. I tell you solemnly that they have had their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that no one will know that you're fasting, except your Father who sees all that is done in secret. And your Father who sees all that is done in secret will reward you. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. The message from this gospel is, don't just do things so that other people will see and admire you. When you pray, talk to God your Father in your room and he will hear you. When you give up something in order to give to others, be glad about it. Don't look gloomy and tell everyone how much it's hurting you and how much you're sacrificing. Your Father in heaven knows the efforts you're making, and he will reward you. And when you give to the needy, don't make a big show of it in order to be praised. Do it quietly, and your Father in heaven will see what you do. Did you notice that as I was explaining the gospel, I was using the same actions as the children in the clip? Jesus tells us that to live a good life, we must pray more. We must stop doing some things in order to help others. And we must go by reaching out to others with love. Can you do those actions with me? Pray, stop, go. Pray, explore new things and different ways of praying. Stop doing some things in order to make space for others. And go, reach out to others with your love. Repeat those actions again. Pray, stop, go. Let's think about how we can do some of those things during Lent. How might I pray differently during Lent? When can I pray? Well, you can pray when you wake up, at bedtime, before your meals, or before doing something difficult. And what do you say? Well, you can thank Jesus and God for things you have. You can ask for help. Or you simply could tell Jesus and God that you love them. And how do we pray? Well, we know that we can say it in our own words. We can pray with somebody, our mum or our dad. We can pray it in our heads as we're walking to school. Or we can say the prayers that we've been taught in school or at home out loud. What might you stop doing this Lent? You could stop watching too much TV or playing on your computer games. Lots of people often give up sweets and treats. You could give up talking in class or wanting things your own way. And go. How might praying and stopping help us to go out to the others more? If you think about our family, we could perhaps take time to talk or write to somebody in our family, phone our grandparents, play with our younger siblings, or spend time helping our mum and dad. In school, we could help those who are struggling in our class to do their work. We could perhaps help tidy up the classroom without being asked to do so, or do our homework, or at the moment our remote learning without being nagged by our families. How might it help us to help people in our parish? Well, we could give some of our pocket money to the collection. We could volunteer to read in mass when we go over on a Thursday. Or we could pray in church for somebody that we know or don't know. And in our neighbourhoods and the world, we could write a card and drop it through a neighbour's letterbox. We could bake a cake and leave it on somebody's front door. Or yesterday, like myself and Mrs. Odridge yesterday, we went on a litter pick. In the wider world, we could sort out some of our old clothes and toys and decide which ones you no longer want, and perhaps you could give them to charity and perhaps research those charities to see how you could support them. Join your hands, children. Lord, we ask for your blessing and guidance as we look forward to our adventure. Jesus, this Lent, we want to deepen our prayer life and make it richer. Jesus, we are going to stop doing some things so that we can free our hearts and minds to reach out to others. Jesus, with the space we have created in our hearts, we're going to deepen our relationship with those around us. Pray, stop, go. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Children, before we begin to celebrate with the children who have been awarded Golden Book certificates, I want to celebrate something else with you and welcome a new member of staff to our school, and that's Miss Townsend. She's a new teacher to our school, and she'll be working mainly for the start of, or the rest of this year in Year 4, covering the days that Mrs. Harrison was doing before she went on maternity leave. But her other job will be to take over some of the duties that Mrs. Cooper did, working with families and children and supporting them in her role as the SENCO. So I'm sure Year 4, you'll be really excited to see her and meet her when you all come back after next week. But when you do return on the 8th of March, there will be one of the staff who's missing, and that will be Mrs. Harris, because she starts her maternity leave today, and I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing her the very, very best. Now, children, let's have a look which of you have been really standing out to your teachers this week and who have been awarded the Golden Book certificate. So starting in reception, we have Carter, and Carter's teacher says that he's been really working on his number bonds in maths this week. Well done, Carter. And Leo in reception, he's been recognised for being a kind friend to others. Well done, Leo. Staying in reception with Peyton. Your certificate is for having marvellous manners. Moving to Year 1, we have Lacey. And Lacey's been working hard on her reading and on her handwriting. Look forward to seeing your handwriting, Lucy, when you come back. And Anesh, fantastic counting in 2s and 5s. Good boy. And Ines, an excellent attitude to your home learning. Good girl. Sophia, for always being kind and caring to others, and I know her mum has told me that that has been especially important over the last few weeks. Good girl, well done, we are so proud of you. In year 2, Jaya, who's been creating an amazing finger puppet, and Sky Rose, completing your online assignment. Good girl. And Lael, who's been handing in all of her home learning packs. And Farron, for creating some wonderful work at home, especially on Screen Break Wednesday. Good boy. Then moving up to year 3, we've got Anaya for her excellent reading, and Andre for consistently good work on teams. Well done. In year 4, the teachers would like to recognise AJ for his brilliant reading every day, and Ruby McCarthy for her effort and participation on teams. Charlie Ray Hewitt for his super expression in guided reading, and Annabelle working exceptionally hard at home. Good girl, Annabelle. Sophia also for working exceptionally hard at home. Very good. In year 5, Lily May, who always perseveres in maths, and Aya, who consistently produces high standards of work at home. Well done. In 5P, Manal, a good understanding of time, and Rhoda for excellent work in English. And moving on to year 6, Alicia for great consistency in her work. Charlie Smith for persevering in his remote learning. Leon for your super effort at remote learning. Zara Malik, overcoming the obstacles and still being able to complete her home learning. And Abby Mann, superb engagement in remote learning this week. And the last but not least, Akshara, consistently engaging with her online learning and producing a really high standard of work. Well done, Akshara. Good girl. So children, we finally know that you will be all back soon and coming back to school very soon on the 8th of March. I'll be writing to your parents this week, just getting things ready in school, ready to welcome you back. But for next week, please keep working hard, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.